Now in this video I am going to talk about the big problem associated with all the Canon DSLRs and mirrorless lineup, and you should know before buying a Canon camera, because Canon cameras are fine, are absolutely one of the best choice out there if you want to limit yourself in full HD video recording mode. But when you want to upscale yourself, or when you want to make future-proof videos, 4K videos from your camera, then these cameras are choice out there. Just putting my opinion here. This video isn't sponsored by any company, and in general I never make any sponsored content either on YouTube or in my website. So let's begin with the problems associated with the Canon DSLR and mirrorless, and everyone should aware of those problems before buying a Canon 4K capable camera. Let's begin with the Canon EOS M50 camera. The problem number one associated with the Canon EOS M50 camera is the absence of dual pixel CMOS autofocus technology or autofocus system when you are using the 4K video mode. When you are using a 4K video mode in the EOS M50 camera, then you are not getting the dual pixel CMOS autofocus sensor support. Your autofocus system switch itself to a contrast based autofocusing system, and when you step down to full HD video recording mode, the camera utilizes DPF system. Okay, this is a forced limitation from Canon, because all the consumers out there paying for a DPF sensor, but they are not getting that particular facility when they switch themselves to 4K video recording mode. Canon possibly done this, according to the rumor mills, to protect the sale of their upcoming flagship EOS M5 Mark II camera, or whatever name, we don't know at the moment. So this is a forced limitation present inside the Canon EOS M50 camera. You are not getting any high speed autofocusing support in the 4K video mode. The problem number two associated with the EOS M50 camera is the excessive crop factor. If you are using the full frame lenses, the EF lenses via adapter, then you are having a 2.5x crop factor in the EOS M50 camera, and if you are using the native lenses, the mirrorless lenses, even then you are having a 1.6x crop factor. For example, talk about it in EOS M50. If you are using a 15mm lens, then the equivalent focal length in 4K mode will be 24mm. So it's a huge difference from 15 to 24mm. So if you are a vlogger and in general you vlog by holding the camera in your hand, then you will going to face a lot of problem with EOS M50 camera. You have to be highly selective with your lenses, otherwise you will going to have a lot of pain during vlogging. So this is one of the biggest issues associated with the Canon base model, the EOS M50 camera. Now let's shift ourselves to the EOS-R, the recently announced Canon EOS-R camera. And a lot of reviewers out there saying that it's a 5D Mark IV camera packed in a shell of a mirrorless body, but that's not true. The 5D Mark IV camera shoots DCI 4K videos, whereas the EOS-R camera is limited to Ultra HD 4K videos. So with the Canon EOS-R camera, you're having a bit loss in 4K resolution. Now let's talk about the bit rates. The EOS-R camera gives you 10-bit output via the HDMI port. Now the 5D Mark IV as well as the 1DX Mark II camera limited to 8-bit output only. Now YouTube in general plays 8-bit videos only, so if you're a YouTuber, 8-bit or 10-bit, it doesn't matter. So EOS-R camera, the only thing matter right here now is the EOS-R camera records Ultra HD 4K videos, and the 5D Mark IV records DCI 4K videos. Now the things common between the EOS-R camera and the 5D Mark IV camera is the 1.74x crop factor, and that's also very excessive. If you are using the native lenses, the native mirrorless lenses, or the full frame lenses via the adapter in EOS-R camera, you are having 1.74x crop factor, and nothing can done about those problems. So there are a lot of reviewers out there, those who never use 5D Mark IV for vlogging purpose. I do know some vloggers, those who use 1DX Mark II camera for their vlogging, despite of being so heavy. Why they are using 1DX Mark II camera? One of the biggest reason for that, the 1DX Mark II camera have 1.3x crop factor only. 1.3x crop factor is bit manageable with the lenses. 1.3x crop factor is not such a big issue in a 4K mode, but yeah, there is crop factor is still present inside the 1DX Mark II camera, even if you are paying $5,000 plus for that body. So be aware that even if you are paying a very big amount to Canon, you are having all these crop factor issues associated with your camera, and at the time of buying your lenses you have to be very selective. You have to be aware of yourself that how your outfit will going to save inside the camera, because the focal length will going to change very rapidly due to the crop factor associated, various crop factor associated with the different cameras. So these are one of the biggest problem associated with the Canon DSLRs and mirrorless when you are using these camera for 4K video recording purpose. If you limit yourself in full HD video recordings only, then Canon cameras are one of the best solutions out there. Now let's talk about the competitor. Let's talk about the Panasonic G85 camera. The Panasonic G85 camera is a $800 camera with 12 to 60 mm kit lens, but that camera do not have any crop factor. The 12 to 60 mm lens will going to act as 12 to 60 mm lens. Either you are shooting a full HD video or 4K video with that particular camera. Now one of the biggest advantage associated with the Panasonic entry level camera that Canon fails to offer even in their $2,000 plus USR camera, the Panasonic G85 offers dual axis image stabilization system. For example, the 12 to 16 mm lens do have a power OIS, the power of OIS optical image stabilization system inside it. At the same time, the camera also have 5-axis sensor shift image stabilization system, and at the time you are recording 4K videos, the G85 utilizes both very effectively. So Canon should learn from these companies that how these companies are able to offer such features under a very low cost, a very affordable cost to their users or to their consumers. If you want to create 4K videos, of course Canon is not the best option out there. Thank you for watching this video. Do share your questions in the comment section below. I am going to see you very soon. Thank you very much.